A thinker, a scholar, an economist, and a gentleman politician above all. Former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh is no more. He breathed his last at the age of 92 at AIIMS, Delhi last night, where he was admitted yesterday. Top leaders, including the President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister, as well as union ministers, have paid their last respects to the former Prime Minister. All government programs scheduled for today have been cancelled. A national mourning of 7 days has been declared. In fact, Manmohan Singh's last rites are going to be conducted with full state honours. An economist by training, Dr. Manmohan Singh held key positions in academia and government before taking on the transformative role of India's finance minister in 1991. This period marked a watershed moment in India's history as the country faced a severe balance of payments crisis. Singh, under the leadership of then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, unveiled a series of bold economic reforms that dismantled the licence large, opened up India's economy to foreign investments, and liberalised trade policies. Take a look at his journey.
The day was 24th of July 1991. It was a day that changed the course of India's growth story. One that made every Indian dream big. And a large part of the credit goes to this man, a Congress veteran, Dr. Manmohan Singh. And on this day, the then Finance Minister presented his first ever budget, one that would be remembered for decades to come. The government by then was already going through testing times. Facing increasing oil prices and a fall in remittances from Indian workers owing to the Gulf War, the Indian state was on the verge of a sovereign default. At $6 billion, India had just enough forex reserves to support 2 weeks of imports. Harsh decisions had to be taken. The government, under the leadership of P.V. Narasimha Rao, then decided to devalue the Indian rupee and pledge gold holdings as immediate measure to shore up forex reserves. But it was a new industrial policy unveiled on the eve of the budget under the patronage of Manmohan Singh that proved to be the game changer. The policy relaxed provisions in Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act to facilitate easier entry and restructuring of businesses. The policy ended the public sector monopoly in many sectors. It also announced a policy for automatic approval of FDI up to 51%, as against the existing cap of 40% for foreign equity investments. These dramatic changes ended public sector monopoly in several sectors, except in those that were deemed critical to national security. These changes not only led to a steep upturn in the foreign goods entering Indian markets, but also a dramatic rise in foreign investment in the years to come. But the reforms didn't end there. Manmohan Singh took it further with multiple drastic changes to stall what seemed to be a crisis spiraling out of control for the country in 1991. Faced with a fiscal deficit, the budget increased corporate tax rates to 45%. The government also opened mutual funds to the private sector and relaxed investment norms for non-residents. These measures were followed by the introduction of a second trade policy package to boost exports and a package for developing small firms. Seeking immediate economic relief, he also applied for an emergency loan of $220 million to the IMF, which later proved to be critical in preventing a debt default for the nation. As the finance minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh took drastic measures which not only rescued the nation but also propelled India into rapid economic growth. As the nation mourns the loss of one of India's greatest minds, the country will forever remain indebted to the astute economist who changed the course of India's growth story.
Well, as the nation mourns the demise of its former Prime Minister, let's bring you some excerpts of Dr. Manmohan Singh's last address to the nation as the Prime Minister from the year 2014. In his speech, he expressed gratitude for getting an opportunity to serve the nation. He called India a land of opportunities, where an underprivileged child of partition was able to occupy the highest office of governance.
My fellow citizens, I address you today for the last time as Prime Minister of India. 10 years ago, when I was entrusted with this responsibility, I entered upon it with diligence as my tool, truth as my beacon, and a prayer that I might always do the right thing. Today, as I prepare to lay down office, I am aware that well before the final judgment that we all await from the Almighty, there is judgment in the court of public opinion that all elected officials and governments are required to submit themselves to. Fellow citizens, each one of us should respect the judgment that you have delivered. The just concluded elections have deepened the foundations of our democratic polity. As I have said on many occasions, my life and tenure in public office are an open book. I have always tried to do my best in serving this great nation of ours. In the last 10 years, we as a country have seen many successes and achievements that we should be proud of. Today, India is a far stronger country in every respect than it was a decade ago. I give credit for these successes to all of you. However, there is still vast latent development potential in our country, and we must collectively work hard to realize it. As I leave office, my abiding memory will be the love and kindness that I have always received from you. I owe everything to this country, this great land of ours, where I, an underprivileged child of partition, was empowered enough to rise and occupy high office. It is both a debt that I will never be able to repay and a decoration that I will always wear with pride. Friends, I am confident about the future of India. I firmly believe that the emergence of India as a major powerhouse of the evolving global economy is an idea whose time has come. Blending tradition with modernity and unity with diversity, this nation of ours can show the way forward to the world. Serving this nation has been my privilege. There is nothing more that I could ask for. I wish the incoming government every success as it embarks on its task, and pray for even greater successes for our nations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
That was Dr. Manmohan Singh's last address to the nation. In fact, Prime Minister Modi, in his special address, had once lauded Dr. Singh's contributions. In fact, he called former Prime Minister's life inspirational for all Indians. Prime Minister Modi said that Manmohan Singh will always be remembered as a reformist. In fact, listen in.
पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के निधन ने हम सभी के हृदय को गहरी पीड़ा पहुंचाई है। उनका जाना एक राष्ट्र के रूप में भी हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी क्षति है। विभाजन के उस दौर में बहुत कुछ खोकर भारत आना और यहां जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में उपलब्धियां हासिल करना ये सामान्य बात नहीं है। अभावों और संघर्षों से ऊपर उठकर कैसे ऊंचाइयों को हासिल किया जा सकता है, उनका जीवन ये सीख भावी पीढ़ी को देता रहेगा। एक नेक इंसान के रूप में, एक विद्वान अर्थशास्त्री के रूप में और रिफॉर्म्स के प्रति समर्पित लीडर के रूप में उन्हें हमेशा याद किया जाएगा। एक अर्थशास्त्री के रूप में उन्होंने अलग अलग स्तर पर भारत सरकार में अनेक सेवाएं दी। एक चुनौतीपूर्ण समय में उन्होंने रिजर्व बैंक के गवर्नर की भूमिका निभाई। पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री भारत रत्न श्री पीवी नरसिम्हा राव जी की सरकार के वित्त मंत्री रहते हुए उन्होंने वित्तीय संकट से घिरे देश को एक नई अर्थव्यवस्था के मार्ग पर प्रशस्त किया। प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में देश के विकास में और प्रगति में उनके योगदान को हमेशा याद किया जाएगा। जनता के प्रति, देश के विकास के प्रति उनका जो कमिटमेंट था उसे हमेशा बहुत सम्मान से देखा जाएगा। डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी का जीवन उनकी ईमानदारी और सादगी का प्रतिबिंब था। वो विलक्षण सांसद थे। उनकी विनम्रता, सौम्यता और उनकी बौद्धिकता उनके संसदीय जीवन की पहचान बनी। मुझे याद है कि इस साल की शुरुआत में जब राज्यसभा में उनका कार्यकाल समाप्त हुआ, तब मैंने कहा था कि सांसद के रूप में डॉक्टर साहब की निष्ठा सभी के लिए प्रेरणा जैसी है। सत्र के समय अहम मौकों पर वो व्हीलचेयर पर बैठकर आते थे, अपना संसदीय दायित्व निभाते थे। दुनिया के प्रतिष्ठित संस्थानों की शिक्षा लेने और सरकार के अनेक शीर्ष पदों पर रहने के बाद भी वो अपनी सामान्य पृष्ठभूमि के मूल्यों को कभी भी नहीं भूले। दलगत राजनीति से ऊपर उठकर उन्होंने हमेशा हर दल के व्यक्ति से संपर्क रखा, सबके लिए सहज उपलब्ध रहे। जब मैं मुख्यमंत्री था तब डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के साथ राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अनेक विषयों पर उनसे खुले मन से चर्चाएं होती थी। यहां दिल्ली आने के बाद भी मेरी उनसे समय समय पर बात होती थी, मुलाकात होती थी। मुझे उनसे हुई मुलाकातें, देश को लेकर हुई चर्चाएं हमेशा याद रहेगी। अभी जब उनका जन्मदिन था तब भी मैंने उनसे बात की थी। आज इस कठिन घड़ी में मैं उनके परिवार के प्रति अपनी संवेदनाएं व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी को सभी देशवासियों की तरफ से श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं।
Well, several leaders have come out paying their last respects to the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. While Lalu remembers his tenure with Manmohan Singh, Asaduddin Owaisi says that the nation has lost its son. Take a listen.
देश के लिए बहुत बड़ा क्षति हुआ है। डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह ईमानदार, निष्ठावान इस तरह का नेता बिरले ही मिल सकता है जिस पर कोई आरोप नहीं लगा हो, कुछ नहीं लगा। मंत्रिमंडल में मैं उन्हीं के मंत्रिमंडल में मंत्री था। ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनकी मृत आत्मा को, उनके सोल को शांति प्रदान करें।
प्राइम मिनिस्टर जनाब मनमोहन सिंह साहब के इंतकाल पर अपनी जानिब से, अपनी पार्टी की जानिब से उनके अफराद ख़ानदान को ताज़ियत पेश करता हूँ। वो एक भारत का एक पहला वज़ीर आज़म था, प्रधानमंत्री था, जिसने मार्जिनलाइज कम्युनिटीज़ और ख़ास तौर से मुसलमानों को अपलिफ्ट करने के लिए, उनको हक दिलाने के लिए उन्होंने बहुत कोशिशें की। हमारे वतन अजीज़ ने अपने एक ख़ास सपूत को खोया है।
उनके बारे में जो कहा गया कि कम बोलते थे, कम बोलना और जिस तरह के उन्होंने फैसले लिए हैं, वो फैसले आज बता रहे हैं कि कितनी सूझबूझ के साथ उन्होंने उस समय वो फैसले लिए थे। देश के एक अच्छे प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में हमेशा वो याद किए जाएंगे। इतिहास के पन्नों में जरूर चले गए वो, लेकिन वो देश के एक अच्छे प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में हमेशा जाने जाएंगे।
Well, top leaders from the NDA too have paid an homage to the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh while remembering his contributions to India's economic growth and showing his popularity that he enjoyed across the ideological spectrum as well.
It's a great loss for the nation. I offer my condolences to the family of Manmohan Singh ji. And he's always been an inspiration for youngsters also, especially in the parliament. We have seen that at that age, when he was a member, he was attending all these sessions. And also the fact, the contributions that he has made to the country, especially during the economic liberalization that the country went through, will always be remembered by each and every Indian. So it's a great loss for the nation. We all mourn with the family members.
पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री स्वर्गीय मनमोहन सिंह जी का निधन का समाचार सभी के लिए बहुत दुख भरा समाचार है। भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि भगवान उनको अपने श्री चरणों में स्थान दे और उनके सभी पारिवारिक जनों को, उनके सभी चाहने वालों को इस दुख की घड़ी में भगवान शक्ति प्रदान करे।
देश ने न केवल एक कुशल राजनीतिक बल्कि देश सेवा के लिए समर्पित व्यक्तित्व और कुशल अर्थशास्त्री को खोया है। पंजाब के एक साधारण गांव, छोटे गांव से भारत के अर्थशास्त्री और प्रधानमंत्री बनने का सफर उनके समर्पण और देश की सेवा को दर्शाता है। उनको हमेशा ही सादगी और विद्वता के लिए याद किया जाएगा। देश के विकास के लिए किए गए आर्थिक फैसलों में उनका योगदान हमेशा याद रखा जाएगा।
Well, Dr. Manmohan Singh also had a great sense of humor. In fact, during his interaction with the former Prime Minister, had explained that he was not an accidental Prime Minister, but also an accidental Finance Minister in an absolute hilarious manner. In fact, let's look at the lighter side of the economist, Prime Minister, gentleman beyond par.
Narasimha Rao ji said, no, you go and get dressed up and come for the swearing-in ceremony. So that's how I became the finance minister. People say I was accidental prime minister. I was also accidental finance minister. I went to the office as usual. Narasimha Rao ji was searching for me and he traced me to the UGC and he said, where are you? I said, I am in the UGC. He said, hasn't Dr. Alexander mentioned to you what we have for you? I said, I didn't take him very seriously. And Narasimha Rao ji said, no, you go and get dressed up and come for the swearing-in ceremony. So that's how I became the finance minister. So people say I was accidental prime minister. I was also accidental finance minister. And Narasimha Rao ji called me and I met him. I said to him that the country is in great difficulties. It requires hard thinking and very tough decision-making process to get the country out of the crisis that she was in. Narasimha Rao ji said, I don't understand all this, but we will give you a free hand with the understanding that if the things go well, we will all take credit. But if the things go wrong, well, you will be the scapegoat. I said, I accept that, but you will have to back me. And Narasimha Rao ji did back me on every stage.
Well, we here at Times Now would like to pay our last respects to the former Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. With that, a short break.